Hello everyone, welcome again to Lola's Reading Corner. Today we will be looking at teaching high frequency words using probes. High frequency words using probes. One aspect of teaching reading is teaching high frequency words. They're called high frequency words because they occur quite often, they occur in quite a large number within text that children read, even beginner texts. Looking at the picture that I've attached here, this is a page from one of the Oxford Reading Tree books. It's a pink level book, so that's a very basic book. That's a beginner level book. This spreads across page 6 and 7. And I highlighted the high frequency words in yellow. I've also kind of squared out the decodable CVC word in red. So on the page we have, come and look at this. Come and look at this. Is it a big giant? So for a child who's just starting reading, there's come and look at this. Is it a? Those are the words that are classed as high frequency words, and these are the words we expect those children to know on sight so that their reading can be fluent, it can be fluid, it can be automatic, it's not choppy, it's not robotic, it's not strained, they're not spending a long time trying to work out what these words are. Now in that, we've got across page 6 and 7 about 10 words, and there's only one CVC word, it's just one 3-letter word in that spread, and that's the word big. If a child doesn't know the words or can't sight read the words come and look at this, is it a, then that child is going to be spending a long time trying to decode or sound or work out what those words are. What you then get is a child who's frustrated, a child whose reading isn't improving because they're spending a lot of time trying to work out the kinks in these words. Now, some high frequency words can be decoded phonetically. So words like I've shown on the screen, words like can, k, a, n, words like this, is. On the other side, we've got words like said and to. Said is a very common word. This is one of the words the children will see and learn very early, but it doesn't follow any phonetic pattern. The A and the I doesn't say the A in snail. It's not a, d. It just totally does its own thing. So children need to be able to see the word said and recognize the word said on sight. To help children read fluently, they need a bank of these words that they can read on sight without trying to decode, without trying to sound out, and the ability to automatically recognize these words and read these words within context is key to their fluent reading. Hello probes, this is where probes come in. Now, probes are used to develop automaticity, fluency, and sight recognition of high frequency words, but they're not something you're just going to pluck out of the skies one day. They must be part of a systematic strategy for teaching reading. You must be very clear on what you're doing. Whether or not you're using a phonics scheme or a reading scheme, you've got to have a clear progression of how you're teaching reading. And so a probe is a very useful tool to use as part of that strategy or part of that scheme that you're using. A probe is a grid containing target high frequency words repeated randomly. The probe will contain words that you've already shown to the child, you've already taught the child, you've already helped the child to see how that word doesn't follow the phonics rules that they know. So it might be the word was, where the letter S isn't saying the S sound, but saying the Z sound. And the letter A isn't saying A, it's saying O, was. It might be the word people, which for the life of me follows absolutely no logical pattern. So you've shown the child how things are different from, what they normally know. They're easily decodable words. So a probe is useful when you've taught the child the differences, the exceptions in the target high frequency words, and then you use this to build their sight recognition, their fluency, and their, automaticity. And the reason the words are scattered all over the grid is so that the child doesn't then go A, B, C, D. When they do that, you don't really know if they know, because the first A looks like the second and the third A. You want the words to be all over the place so that, they can work out what the word is. They're not sure what word is coming next, so they're prepared and they're learning. You should target a certain number of high frequency words per week, depending on the age and needs of the child or the group of children that you're working with. Often younger children, those in reception class, they're taught one high frequency word per week when they start school. And they build up cumulatively throughout the year as the year progresses. They might start with the, and then the next week move on to and, the next week move on to I, move on to you, he, she, and they work and they build that up. And because all the text that they'll be reading will be so graded to contain those high frequency words, they build up their ability to recognize those words on sight. They're also given lots and lots of opportunities to actually play with the words. So they're making the words with Play-Doh, they're writing the words in sand, they're writing the words with shaving foam, they're painting the words, they're tracing the words with their hands, not necessarily writing. They may be writing, but you need to understand the needs and the age and take into consideration the age of the children that you're working with. Now, older children, including those who struggle significantly with reading, can have between 5 to 10 words per week. This isn't set in stone because you might have a child who really, really struggles and can't, work. That child can't work with 7 words, can't work with 10 words. They might be able to, within their ability, work with just 3 words. And that's the number of words that you present to that child in the grid. So you need to know and follow the child that you're working with. So grids, like I said, is a very fantastic way to build sight word recognition, fluency. You can change the words. If you go online, there'll be templates that allow you to put the words in and they'll randomly generate the grid for you. Or you can do that very easily on MS Word or PowerPoint and print it out and have it handy so that you can use as the year goes on. I hope you found this video useful in helping you in your teaching. I will see you next time. Thank you.